So this isn't one of my standard scripted videos. This is more just me ranting about some stuff that's been on my mind. You can consider this video 7.5 in the series I've been making. It's not a full production, but more of a pulse check on how things are going, what I'm trying to accomplish, and my thoughts so far. So first, I have to say that these videos are not a hobby for me. I've talked to a lot of family members and friends about the videos I'm making, and I've gotten good feedback from people who say that they feel like they're either helpful and or informative. And that's great, but I don't do this because I think it's fun or because I see myself as a content creator. I don't want to be a content creator, to be honest. I don't want to be online. I don't like filming myself. I don't like having to talk about politics. I don't like caring or having to care about politics, and you probably don't either if you're watching this. I would rather be able to tune out completely, but the information I'm trying to share in these videos I feel is too important and pressing. It's not just important for me to know and learn about, it's vital for me to share and inform other people about. And that goes for anybody watching these videos too, because here's the thing, and this is the main point of this video. This information I'm covering, this understanding of how things really work, it's useless in isolation. It only has utility when it's shared and when enough of us see the same picture. It's not about me sharing, it's about all of us recognizing our role in breaking the isolation and in spreading the word. Because this knowledge doesn't help us as individuals. Not because it isn't helpful to know in general, but because none of us can actually do anything with this information as individuals. Learning how the system works, how the government functions, how decisions are made, how laws are passed, all of that doesn't matter if not enough people know. If not enough people know, we can't do anything meaningful about it because we need all of us, or at least we need a critical mass of people to understand what's happening behind the scenes. It's like if your car ran out of gas and you know that there's a gas station half a mile away, you on your own or you with one other person maybe can't get it moving. Even if you know what the problem and solution is. But if you get enough people to start pushing together in the same direction, then the car moves. That's the only way we can affect real change. In my recent videos, like video 5 on Citizens United, opening the floodgates for money in politics, video 6 showing how policy actually follows what wealthy donors want, not what average people want, and video 7 on how lobbyists keep that influence going day to day, I've been talking about how the wealthy maintain their grip over Congress and politicians. I explain how the wealthy donor class in America basically uses their economic power, their money, to help get politicians they want elected. It's a system that prevents us normal folks from having much say. I saw a couple comments under those videos where essentially the sentiment was like, we know this already, so what can we actually do about it? First, I want to clarify. I honestly don't think that many people truly know the depth and mechanics of this stuff, often because it's deliberately made to seem complex or buried, or frankly, we're all just too busy and distracted trying to live our lives. But even for those who do have a sense of it, I was thinking about that comment and thought, yeah, what do we do about this? How can we actually change it? And I don't have all the answers, but it made me think about what power we have, what agency, what leverage. And the realization I had was so straightforward and simple, it made me feel stupid for not seeing it so clearly earlier. Remember the solutions pyramid that I referenced in my second video? I talked about how getting to solutions requires us to have a base of being informed. Well, I now realize how much being informed is in itself a primary practical solution, not in some idealistic abstract sense, but in a very real world way. It's the key to neutralizing their biggest advantage over us. You know Barack Obama, obviously people know him. If you remember, he had this famous line during speeches where he'd be working up the crowd, getting them real angry about something, they start booing, and he'd be like, don't boo, vote. And in my head, I used to think, oh wow, that's a clever line, don't boo, vote. He's a politician, he wants you to vote for him, so like he's gonna rile the crowd up to make them vote. It makes sense. But now I'm seeing it so differently. The way our world is set up, money controls many of the things that happen. The laws that get passed, how they're passed, how decisions are made. It's no surprise that people with money have the most impact and influence. But what I realize is this: all the money they spend is ultimately to convince us to vote in their interests. They spend money, and yes, as we saw with lobbying, sometimes influence is very direct on politicians. But generally speaking, the systemic issues, the big picture I've been laying out, it's about how rich people use money to distract us with wedge issues that don't actually impact our daily survival as much as the economic decisions they're making behind the scenes. They pour tons of money into super PACs and campaign donations, but those campaigns still require that we, the people, vote for those politicians. They don't just pay money to the government and get their candidate installed. They pay private companies, media companies, TV companies, social media companies to flood us with ads, to shape our algorithms, our perceptions, to sway our behaviors and decisions. Then we vote based on what we see, which is often what serves their best interests. We do it because We're manipulated into thinking we're each other's enemies, not realizing we're being used as the crucial pawns in their game. The point I'm making is that even wealthy power has to trickle down to our votes to truly be effective in shaping who governs. We don't live in a direct democracy, we live in an indirect one. Therefore, a primary political power we have is to vote for other people who will then vote directly on issues, supposedly on our behalf. If that's not happening as it should, there are only two reasons. If politicians know that most of us are uninformed or easily swayed, and they know the people with the money can control the narrative that sways us, they're going to listen to the people with the money. But if more of us are informed, if we understand how the system really works behind the scenes, then politicians will realize that their ultimate power comes from us. Yes, the wealthy will still be able to influence people who aren't tuned in, but if more and more of us are tuned in, then their money, their biggest weapon, becomes less useful. The millions they spend on manipulative campaigns, on divisive ads, on flooding social media, it won't affect us in the same way because we'll be able to see through it. And if more of us vote based on our actual shared interests, and trust me, we have more aligned interests than we are led to believe, we can start to shift things. We get distracted focusing on social issues, trying to convince everybody to think and live the same way, instead of uniting on all the economic realities that affect us all. Anyway, I'm getting off topic a bit. My core point is that in our current system of a democratic republic, our vote is an incredibly potent tool for change. It's the most direct leverage we have over who governs us and who makes the rules. And that's power the people at the top would rather we didn't fully understand or wield effectively, which is why they try to control it indirectly through voter suppression tactics or more pervasively by spending fortunes to influence us, the voters, to vote against our own interests. Now, I want to be clear, voting isn't the only way to make a difference. Protests, community organizing, direct action, speaking out, all of these things are vital and have historically brought about immense change. I value them deeply, but when it comes to the formal structures of power, to changing the people who write the laws and direct the country, making the system truly responsive to us takes making politicians and candidates realize that we know what's going on, we know what we want, and we can't easily be distracted or manipulated. That requires a majority of us. Literally, it takes at least 50.1% of the electorate to be informed enough so that their money can't be so effectively used against us through political ads, social media campaigns, and targeted algorithms. If we achieve that level of informed engagement, our collective vote becomes a powerful force they must reckon with. It's about building enough collective understanding so our votes can't so easily be bought or misdirected. And that, in turn, makes all other forms of activism more impactful because the system itself becomes more accountable. So to bring it back, we don't have their billions, but the good thing is that people with money can't just translate their money directly into votes. They have to translate their money into ads and campaigns and then try to convince us, we are the medium, to translate their money into our votes, often by voting against our own best interests. Therefore, the solution to make those dollars wasted, those ads ineffective, is to be informed, to not be distracted. The more people who are informed and not distracted can vote in their own interests, that holds elected officials accountable to us, not to those big wealthy donors or corporations who are more concerned with their bottom line than the well-being of the general public. I've spoken with multiple family members and friends who've told me some version of, I'm not really into politics like that. And they think I'm into it, so I should take it seriously, but they don't have to. I think that misses the point entirely, because not being into politics doesn't mean politics isn't into you. Decisions are being made right now that will shape your life, your kids' lives, whether you're paying attention or not. So I asked them, would you rather lose many of the freedoms and opportunities you currently enjoy, but never have to worry about politics again? Or would you rather learn about the system, deal with all the frustration and stress that comes with it, but have a chance to keep and expand those rights and freedoms? Their answer doesn't matter. The point is that those are essentially the only two options. Either you care and we collectively work to protect and improve things, or you don't and we risk losing what we have. Everything you currently enjoy, people have fought for, and we throw it all away by not caring. We collectively throw all that away by being apathetic or complacent or just too tired and exhausted. If we let them wear us down, we'll just continue losing ground and being taken advantage of. So our informed vote is a crucial power. What Obama used to say, don't boo vote, that's good advice whether you're left-leaning or right-leaning. It's great advice if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Don't just boo the other side, vote. And my only hope is that you vote in your own best interest. My only hope is that you're informed enough to recognize your best interest and vote accordingly. I'm making these videos for that purpose alone. So I can share what I'm learning, you can share with the next person, and we can build up to that critical mass where more and more people vote in our collective best interests for the best outcomes for the most people. And then we'll be able to hold the politicians we elect accountable to standards and ideals that benefit the many, not just the richest or the most powerful. So don't just watch videos online, mine or anyone else's, and then go back to chilling. The least you can do, the absolute foundation, is become more informed and have conversations with people in your sphere of influence about these issues. Because if we don't care about the decisions being made about our lives, that doesn't mean those decisions don't get made. It just means we aren't the ones shaping them. The way I see it, we are all in this together. Our fates are tied. And this isn't some idealistic kumbaya type thing. I mean that you need me to vote with you for our votes to matter collectively. And I need you to vote with me. But if we think our enemy is each other and not the actual forces, the architects of influence that we'll be diving deep into in the next video, video 8, who are working to keep our wages down, prices for essentials high, retirement a distant dream, and healthcare unaffordable, if we don't see who's really benefiting from our division, we'll never be able to fix the things we care about. These are the things that matter to all of us, and therefore, those are the things that we should focus on together, no matter who you are. Right, left, center, whatever. Black, white, indigenous, brown, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, gay, straight, man, woman, whatever category you fall into, we're in the same boat. If this sinks, we are all going down. So let's start realizing that and doing whatever we have the capacity for to make change happen, starting with getting informed and talking to each other. If you've seen The Matrix, and I don't feel bad for spoiling this because this movie is over 20 years old, I feel like most people are like Neo before he took any pill. Like, I feel like most people are plugged into this fake digital reality of drama and polarization, which is perpetuated by the media and social media algorithms, and is often funded by the very same interests that we are talking about. Not enough of us have unplugged, like Neo when he finally woke up from the Matrix, to realize what's actually happening, what the actual fight is, how we're being used, how we're all pawns in a much larger game. So yeah, hopefully we all wake up in time.